Starting in September, I moved to a different school, an old school, to St. Thomas Aquinas. And I'm going to miss a lot of the friendships that I've made with my colleagues and some of the relationships that I've built with many of my students. So, let's talk about it. And this is precisely the reason why I'm making this video today, in part due to the fact that I have been conned or have had my arm twisted or have been peer pressured into making cookies for my students. Thanks Aya, Angelica, and Lexi for that. But I'm going to take you through the entire process of me making cookies and the amount of painstaking work that I am going through to make sure that you end your semester on a high note. And you're coming along for the ride today. And throughout this entire process, I'm also going to leave some parting words for each and every one of you. But before we can get started, I think it's time that we create some movie magic. And it's time that I get out of these clothes. So, let's try that. Boom shakalaka. Before we can get started though, I need to get my ingredients. So, we need some more movie magic. All right, now we're ready to get started. So now we have all the ingredients laid out, and I'm going to go over what everything is here so that you can make your own in the future so you don't have to harass me. So like I said, I was going to leave a special message for everyone. I had to pull my laptop out here because it's kind of hard to remember 40 students' names off the top of my head. So I'm going to start with my current class. And right at the start, I'm going to say Camilo and Martine, you guys are two peas in a pod. You need to find better video games to play. This Clash of Clans or whatever it was that you were playing, tighten up your game. Otherwise, you're great fellas. Daniel and Andrew, excellent work this year. You guys were really passionate about everything that you did, and you took it very seriously, and you have some bright futures in terms of tech design if that's something that you might want to pursue. Nolan and Joven, you really didn't say a lot this semester, but you worked diligently every single day. And I really appreciate it and the contributions to your class. You did phenomenal work. Adam and Raphael, you fall into the same category. You worked really hard all semester. You were leaders in the classroom when people needed help, and you set a good example for everybody else. Before I get into any more names, I want to start creaming my butter. And what that entails is 2 full cups of butter, 2 full cups of sugar, and 2 full cups of brown sugar. I think it's important to highlight how much sugar goes into cookies. Charlie and Thomas, you guys are a dynamic duo. Did excellent work this year. Lots of questions. Isabel, what can I say about you? Never change. I love your attitude. I love your spunk. I love your enthusiasm. And you express a desire to be a videographer when you grow up, I believe. And I think they'll do a heck of a job. Mason, the strong, silent type. Always a pleasure to have in class, and your work was very thoughtful at all times. Emily and Vanessa, it's a theme within this class. There were certain groups of students that really worked well together, and you two were phenomenal this year. You were an absolute pleasure to have in class. Dominic, what can I say about you, Dominic? You were full of energy, and I know we struggled with your sword, and we tried it multiple times, and you never gave up, and that's what I really, really liked about you. Never changed that part about you. You're going to face critical moments in your life where you're up against certain odds, but you persevered. And that's a great quality to have. Chrislyn, you've expressed a desire to work in healthcare when you get older, and I believe it was to be a doctor, and I absolutely see you on that pathway. And I really hope that you take some healthcare classes while you're at SAB, because you are going to excel and you are going to be one heck of a physician one day. Marin, gotta stop photoshopping your pictures, like seriously. Amalia, by far the most kind, sincere, thoughtful, and wonderful student that I've probably ever come across. You were a shining light in the classroom. Your energy was always positive, and you just, you warmed up my day every single day. You're a great young lady, and I wish you nothing but the best moving forward. And like I said to you today, I would love to see you and the rest of your fellow peers graduate one day. So I'm going to take a quick break here. We're going to cream this butter. It's very important that you cream it properly so you get the right consistency in your cookies. And remember to periodically scrape down your bowl as you're mixing so you get a nice consistency. All right, now that the butter and the sugars are creamed, it's time to put in 4 eggs, 4 tablespoons of vanilla. All right, the next step involves 6 cups of flour that we're going to put in this mixing bowl, and 2 teaspoons of baking soda, a teaspoon of baking powder, and 2 teaspoons of salt. I'm not a big salt lover, but it does bring out the flavors, and that's important to know. And you want to mix this up before you start dumping it into here, because if you don't mix it and combine it well in here, it's not going to mix and combine well in here. And then you're going to bite into pockets of just pure salt. It's not great. Always make sure to have some paper towel or cloth ready in the event that you're an absolute savage like myself and just ham fist everything together. And the next thing you know, you got flour flying everywhere. All right, before we move on to the next phase of this, I need to take a sip of coffee. I need to wet my whistle. Do you like my Minions cup? Don't judge me. I love this cup. I also have a Baby Shark cup too. So what? All right, on to the other grade 9 TS students that I had the pleasure of teaching this year. Mustafa and Christian, strong silent types, came in every day, you worked hard, I loved your attitude, keep it up, I see great things in your future. Khaled and TJ, you both have very strong technical senses, and I'm very curious to see where you'll end up one day because I envision really good things for you. Eli, what a wonderful student, kind, thoughtful, empathetic. I could go on all day about you, Eli. I think you're a phenomenal young man, and I think you'll be a leader for years to come. Ben is another person that falls into this category. Ben, you might be the most kind person that I think I've ever met. You were thoughtful. You always worked very diligently. You put everything into what you were doing, and I think you're going to turn out to be a wonderful young man as well. Kaden, Devin, and Will. I know I said I was going to say something positive about everybody. Guys, take a breath. Take a breath. You're high energy, and I love it. I love your passion and your creativity. But if I can share one word of advice with you guys that I had to learn a long time ago, find out where that line is. And step to that line, but never step over it. All right, now the next phase is putting this flour into this mixture. But this is what's really important. If you do start hammering it in there, it's going to go everywhere. So, it's not my strong suit, but I need to be gentle. So, I'm going to show you how that's done. You might not be able to hear me over the mixer, but what I'm going to do is turn this on and gently scoop amounts of flour into this. All right, gentlemen, I really want you to pay attention to this part. If you pay attention to nothing else this entire video, this is what I want you to take away from it. This is a measuring cup. The sooner that you learn how to use one of these guys, the better off your life will be. Trust me. You don't want to be going to university or college and eating KD your entire life. Learn what these are, learn what they're used for, and learn how to cook for yourself. Now this is calling for 4 cups of chocolate chips into this mixture that we have here. Seems like a lot, but you know what? We're living dangerously today. And there you have it. We now have a chocolate chip cookie dough recipe. All we need to do now is roll these into balls, fire them in the oven, and then we have tasty treats that'll help get us through our final day together. Nevaeh and Asima. You two, again, grouping students together here, were absolutely delightful all year long, actually. And you were very thoughtful, and you contributed so many different ideas and concepts to our class this year, and I really appreciated that. Tammy Lou, who I just ran into at the Superstore, hope you're having a great day. Looks like you're off to some sporting event, not quite sure. Volleyball, maybe? I don't know. But hope you had a good time tonight. Oh, and by the way, you're a fantastic student. Luna, you are such an interesting young woman. I really enjoyed all your contributions this year and your willingness to be a leader within the classroom and help out your fellow peers. Ariana, I know I said you asked a lot of questions, but believe me, that's not a bad thing. That's a great quality. You're inquisitive and you're going to go a lot of places in life if you keep asking those questions. Jonathan and Sean, you very much remind me of Camilo and Martine, except that you do your work.
Oh, snap.
Danielis, I actually called Hubba Bubba, and I think I might have you linked up with a gum sponsorship. Angelica, Aya, and Lexi. What can I say about you three? You very much were a trifecta. The three amigos, three musketeers, whatever you guys want to call yourselves. Three mean girls. I'm just kidding. You made teaching fun. You made it enjoyable to come to class every single day. And I really hope that you enjoyed your time in my class this year and with Miss Nihal. And now we're back, and the first batch is out of the oven. Gotta say, they turned out pretty good. I'm gonna try one of these to see. Oh, they're super soft. Smell amazing. I'm gonna give it a bite. Oh, it's so good. In closing, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I absolutely loved our time together this year. You guys are all amazing students. While this is the end of our time together, it is not the end. And I look forward to catching up and coming to those graduations that I mentioned and seeing every one of you succeed in the future. I hope you have a great summer.